Hi, everyone. Kim O'Neill, personal empowerment coach and mentor here again. And today I want to talk to you about the emotional guidance scale. So in the last video, we talked about positive psychology and positive emotions and how there's real value in those positive emotions. Research has connected those dots. And so today I want to take it a little bit further and share with you some of that additional value that scientific research has also been able to show us. I'm not going to be specifically talking about the research, but it is there if you would like to research it as well. But I'm going to share with you the value that it can have for you and you getting into a better feeling place and understanding what your emotions are telling you. So you may have heard of the emotional guidance scale with, called different things, even seen some images, visuals that look similar. There have been some variations on it, all very similar. I'm going to say this is similar to Dr. David Hawkins' scale of consciousness. It's not exactly the same, but it is along those lines. He describes it and uses it a little differently. And I actually used to have his information on my website, and then I was contacted by them and told to take it down. So that's okay. We're not going to use his information, but his stuff is great. So there's nothing wrong with that. I'm just going to be sharing it to you in a little bit different way. So we're talking about the emotional guidance scale, and the one I'm going to be referencing to you is actually out of the book Ask and It Is Given by Abraham Hicks. So if you'd like to, dig even deeper into this, that is a fantastic book for learning about law of attraction, but then also our emotions, because the emotions are such a key part of law of attraction. So in the last video, we talked about positive psychology, positive emotions, about how the more we connect to those positive emotions, which we know what those are, right? So things that are joy, love, peace, optimism, things like that, right? Those feel-good emotions, that the more we connect to those things, that research has shown we are able to cultivate higher levels of success and well-being for ourselves. Okay, the key I want to make as we're talking about emotions is I want to make this very, very pertinent point. While there is emphasis on positive emotions, no emotions, I want you to see my hands, no emotions are ever bad, okay? So even as we talk about positive emotions, negative emotions, we are not saying good and bad. We're not saying that. However, I think just living in this human experience, we can all identify that if we have the choice, we probably prefer to feel something more on the positive spectrum of things, right? Versus the negative. So another point I want to make is that all emotions are energy. You can even think of it as energy in motion. And how does that also connect to the research that you can also look up yourself as well, is science has shown that emotions actually have vibrations. So if everything is energy, including our emotions, that means that when we are feeling emotions that feel more positive, that we are actually vibrating at a higher vibration versus negative emotions vibrating at a lower vibration. So why I want to share with you the emotional guidance scales, because this is a fantastic visual. If you're just in the process of learning to understand your emotions, connecting with your emotions, identifying what am I even feeling right now. That was something, I was kind of embarrassed to say for, a few years ago, wow, I'm not even sure what I'm feeling. So it's a process, getting familiar with that. What are you feeling? It might sound so obvious, right? Oh, I'm feeling okay. I'm not feeling okay. But we can actually get more specific and really connect to, okay, what am I feeling? Where is that in my body? We'll get into that later in some other videos. But let's start off with this. So I'm going to give you a visual. This is the emotional guidance scale. And yes, you may not be able to fully read this, but you can see that I've got different colors there indicating emotions of varying degrees of vibration. So the ones at the top, of course, are the more positive, higher vibrating emotions, and the ones at the bottom are the lower vibrating emotions. So, and this is actually a handout that I give out in one of my workshops, a law of attraction workshop. So the emotions at the top are going to be things like joy, love, appreciation, passion, enthusiasm, positive expectation, happiness, optimism, hopefulness, even contentment is a higher one of, the higher vibrating emotions. Then as you move on down, you get into things like boredom, pessimism, frustration, overwhelmment, disappointment, doubt, worry, blame, discouragement, anger, I'll get back to that one, revenge, hatred, jealousy, guilt, and then fear and grief at the very, very bottom. So again, no emotions are bad. All emotions serve a purpose. But the more we know about this, we can check in to see, where am I right now? What can my present emotions tell me? Because wherever you are in any given moment, that's going to be considered your emotional set point. So going back to law of attraction, we attract, we connect to things that are of like vibration. So if we're vibrating in the space of, let's say, boredom, it's likely we're going to be attracting more things to keep us bored. The same can be true for anything else. So in the space of joy, more things bring us joy. Space of fear, more things that bring us fear. And I'm going to look at my notes really quick because I want to make sure that I'm not missing any key points that I want to share you about. Yeah, so emotional set point, help us know what we're attracting. And there are processes, there are practices, exercises, I'm using different words for the same thing, that we can use to help us, move into a higher vibrational state. So just because, let's say you look at this and you go, you know what, I'm really feeling fear, which is at the very bottom. That's not to say that that's where you're always going to be, or that's what you're doomed to experience for the rest of your life. Even if you've experienced it, let's say every day of your life up until today as you watch this video, that does not mean that's where you're destined to stay. So actually, I'm just going to go a little bit deeper than what I was initially planning on, because I think this is key. Anything that we feel over a prolonged period of time, we've developed momentum in feeling it. So if you start to use processes, I'm going to give you a very simple one at the end of this video, but if you look online, you can find a whole slew of them. I offer my coaching clients a whole variety of different processes to move into higher vibrational states as well. But if you start to use some of these processes and then you go, oh, nothing's changed, nothing's different. I've still got a lot of fear or grief or anger, frustration in my life. Nothing's changing. One of the key, here's an analogy I like to think of to help us understand how it takes some time. Think of a sailboat moving in one direction, right? And the more wind it has going, it starts to build up momentum and go faster and faster, right? In one direction. But let's say now you want to turn around, you want to go the other direction. You got to crank those ropes to sort of turn that sail. And there's first a slowing down of the momentum as you're in that process. So first you're going to get to a place where you're just slowing down. You're just getting to more of a neutral place. And then the longer you stick with it, you start to build up that momentum and see how you're moving in the other direction. So I really want to encourage you that, if this is speaking to you right now, because this works, I know it works, I'm speaking from personal experience. If this is something that's speaking to you and you want to start to try, don't give up. Okay, that's key. There's a lot more that can be said about that too. Our beliefs and everything play into all of this. But just don't give up. There's momentum that gets built up. And depending how long you've been in any, emotional place for any period of time, it might take a while just to sort of slow that down before you can build up momentum in the other direction, okay? So here's a really, really simple process. It's called the 68-second process. And let's go back to everything is energy, right? Everything, including our words. including the words that we speak. So think about that. When someone's saying maybe really angry, hateful, hurtful things to you, it doesn't feel good, right? Versus someone's acknowledging how awesome you are, because you are, and someone's giving you encouragement and being kind to you. It feels better, doesn't it? Yeah. It's because there's different energies coming towards you, and we are affected by those energies. So one way you can start to shift your own energy is start to speak words that connect you to better feeling states. So the 68-second process can be used in a variety of ways for a variety of topics. But let's say you want to have an amazing day. I want you to first visualize and just connect to an image of what would that be like? Have this amazing day. What would that feel like? What would it look like? What kinds of things happen in that day? That's your little bit of prep work. Just think about that. You know, it can be anything. It can be so-and-so smiled at me as I walked by down the street. It can be, you know what? I had a peaceful drive to work today. You can start to say, hey, it was freaking awesome that, you know what, I actually got a phone call about a new job opportunity. And I'm going to share more with you about that too. Start out small, okay? If this is new for you, start out with very simple things that are very believable. But just get an idea. What are those things? And then for 68 seconds, speak them. Speak them out loud as if they've already happened. So for instance, let's say it's 8 a.m. in the morning. I just parked at work, and for 68 seconds, I'm going to say, oh man, today was such an amazing day. Oh my goodness, my boss was really kind to me and congratulated me on the fantastic job I did on that project. And then, you know, my lunch, thank goodness it stayed cold enough. I forgot to put it in the fridge and it stayed cold. You might even want to affirm that you remembered to put it in the fridge. So start to speak these things, and little by little, you'll start to see how at the end of the day, oh my gosh, that actually happened. My boss actually was kinder to me today. My lunch was delicious. I actually got to leave work a little bit early, or maybe you just found that you moved through your work day more easily. And again, I'm giving you something simple to start with, because that's what's going to serve you most if you're just starting out with this kind of information, okay? So be easy on yourself. This video might be a little bit longer than I intended for, but this is really key information. Having an awareness of your emotions, what they're telling you, and, you know, being aware, where am I on the spectrum? Because we can also start to reverse it and say, okay, why did that just happen? Why did this thing just happen? Why did this person have this conversation with me? And we can start to go backwards and say, oh, that's right. I actually was already feeling frustrated and angry about this other thing that happened. And so it makes sense, actually. Yeah, I just had another experience where someone's presenting more frustration and anger towards me. Now, you don't deserve any negative experiences in your life, but we can start to see how what we've got going on within us contributes to other experiences we then have. And by connecting to that awareness, we connect back to our own power to be able to generate something different. Your power is having the awareness and then being able to take action on this kind of information and how it's useful for you. So I hope this video has been helpful for you. Feel free to let me know down in the comments if this has been useful for you, if it resonates for you, if you've practiced some of this and how beneficial it was for you. You're welcome to to follow me here on YouTube. Go to my Facebook page as well. It's currently titled Kim O'Neill Coaching, and Every Day is a New Day show. I may at some point actually separate those two, but that's where you can find me. You can also go to KimO'NeillCoaching.com, and O'Neill is O-N-E-I-L-L. And I hope you always know how amazing you are, okay? So if this is the beginning of your journey of really connecting with this kind of information and shifting maybe your perspective on emotions and how they serve you, the information they have for you, be easy on yourself, okay? Because there's a lot here for you. And I want you to be able to really receive that and to be able to receive those benefits of that. So I'm going to stop now because this video is way longer than I intended. I hope you have a fantastic day. And Until next time, know that you are loved, never alone, and every day is always a new day. Okay? Okay. Bye for now.